And now it's time for another exciting episode of WEN Wonders. Today, WEN wonders about the farmer's market.
Here I am in Davis Square in Somerville. Davis Square is great. This place has restaurants, ice cream parlors, cafes, books, movies, and even comedy shows. But you know what? I come here on Wednesday afternoons, every Wednesday afternoon, for a very good reason. The farmer's market! Ah yes, the farmer's market, where people can come every week and buy fresh fruits and vegetables directly from the farmers who grow them. Of course, Davis Square is not the only farmer's market. They're all over the place. There are tons. In the greater Boston area alone, there are dozens. In fact, every single day of the week, you could find a farmer's market somewhere in the Boston area. Look at all these people here. Farmers markets are hugely popular, and people have many different reasons why they choose to come.
I want to eat the freshest food I can get and support local farmers, and it tastes so good.
It tastes better and it's more fun.
You cannot duplicate this at any grocery store around.
It's convenient. We live right up the way. The vegetables are wonderful.
Organic, local, and I get to meet the person that makes it.
It has the best, freshest, most diverse produce you can get. It doesn't get any better.
And they don't just sell produce at these farmers markets. There are also flowers, jams, baked goods, goat cheese, and even natural beef. But by far, the thing you see most at the farmers markets are fruits and vegetables. Isn't this awesome? You know, I love coming here every week and loading up on all the food that I need for the rest of the week. I mean, it's so convenient. Everything is laid out on beautiful display, and all I gotta do is choose what I want and pick it up. Of course, at a supermarket, it's even more so. I mean, everything is lined up in pretty shiny little packages. Now, where does all this stuff come from? I mean, it is so easy to take it for granted. You know, a lot of people, when they buy food, they just take it off the shelves and they don't give a second thought to how much time and effort it took to get that food on the shelves to begin with. I mean, where do these carrots come from? How are onions grown? How long does it take to grow a tomato? What do beet plants look like anyway? For a lot of people, fruits and vegetables start out at the market, but they don't. Everything at a farmer's market had to start out this big and had to grow on a farm. Did you know that there are some people in the city who have never been to a farm before?
Have you ever been on a farm before?
No.
The life of fruits and vegetables doesn't start out at the market. There is so much before that we never get to see. I mean, wouldn't it be great if we could take this squash and follow it from the very beginning? Hey, come on, let's do it! Let's go! Hey, you know, there are tons of farms all over Massachusetts that grow squash. This guy comes from right here. Check it out! We're in the town of Lincoln, Massachusetts. It's about 10 miles west of Davis Square. This farm is called the Blue Heron Organic Farm. It's a 7-acre farm, which is roughly the size of 5 football fields put together. Now, as farms go, this is not very big. But that doesn't mean that the Blue Heron can't grow lots and lots of different things. Because it does. In fact, believe it or not, this farm grows over 50 types of crops, including this guy. Let's go find the squash. What do you think the plant of the squash looks like?
What the plant looks like? No, I've never looked at the plant of the squash.
I think it's like a small, like waist to knee-high plant.
They spread kind of on the ground pretty flat.
I think it has sort of webbed leaves.
It's got big leaves.
It's a vine, isn't it?
No, I don't know what the plant looks like. I don't.
No, haven't a clue.
Has wide, flat leaves.
I don't know.
The plant of a squash, isn't it a vine on the ground?
It's, I think, tall with green leaves coming off of it, and the squash grows off of it. Is that wrong? Well, those were some pretty good guesses, and actually, some of them were pretty darn close. But the plant that this guy came from, it's right here. This is what the zucchini squash grows on. Dude, this is a cool plant. Look at this. Check out these leaves. They're big and they have this very special shape that is characteristic of plants in the squash family. And they're fuzzy. Oh, ow, I gotta be careful. The fuzzies that are all over the squash plant are actually tons and tons of little spikes. They get bigger on the stems, as you can see here. Now, squash is a type of vine, and most vines, as most people know, spread as they grow on the ground. But the zucchini plant is a little bit different. It kind of grows like a bush, like a dome. Look at all the squash plants out there. Aren't they cute? But by far, my favorite part of this plant is the flower. Come here, look. Squash flowers are huge and bright orange. They are so beautiful. And apparently, they're delicious too. The bugs love them. Go pollination, a pollination, pollination. Wait a minute, what is that I see behind the flower? Is that a baby squash? Aw, he's so adorable. He grows and grows and grows until voila! And here it is, all grown up and ready for the farmer's market. Isn't that crazy? What? What? Oh. He says it's crazy too. Now, this is gonna blow your mind. But did you know that this squash field behind me is not just green zucchini? Oh yeah! Come on, did you actually think there was only one kind of squash? The green zucchini? Heck no! There's also the yellow zucchini, the summer squash, and, of course, the uber fun patty pan! That's right, this field is teeming with squashes of all shapes and all colors. You know, I think it's time for a really awesome squash montage. Yeah. Charlie, roll 'em! Wow, that was squash-terrific! Yeah, I did just say squash-terrific. What do you mean it's not a real word? Hey, let's go check out the rest of this place. Alright, now remember, this is only one farm out of like the zillion in the United States. So don't think that every farm looks exactly like this one, because every farm is unique and different. This is just one of the many. But this is an awesome farm. Let's go check it out! This place is great. And you know what else? This is a certified organic farm, which means there are no synthetic chemicals used anywhere on this farm. No synthetic sprays, no chemical fertilizers, no chemical pesticides, which means this beautiful dirt is all natural. And I could literally stick my face into it and be okay. You know, I wish everybody could come out and see this, because they would see their fruits and vegetables in a whole new way. I mean, sometimes I wonder, how much do people actually know about the plants that their food grows on? Stuff that we eat every single day, like onions. You know, like onions are in our salads, and they're in our soups, and they're on our sandwiches, and our burgers, and they're even our party chip dips. But, I mean, how much do people really know about the onion? How much do you know? Onions, do they grow above ground or below ground?
They grow below ground.
I don't know. Maybe above. Onions are above.
Below.
I'm gonna 50-50 chance here, so I'm gonna say above ground.
It's under the ground.
I believe above ground.
Can you imagine an onion plant in your mind, and can you describe the leaves of an onion plant?
The shape, I would have to guess, would be like a spade.
Is it like long?
Kind of tubes, I would say. Long macaroni.
The leaves are like small, but they're brownish.
They kind of flail out from the side.
Rectangle? I don't. No, I have no idea.
I have no idea.
One look and we can answer those questions. Check it out. Onions are a type of bulb vegetable, so they grow below ground. When they're younger, you can hardly see them at all. But something special about onions is that as it grows bigger and bigger, the top of the bulb actually kind of pops up above the ground. Look. So I guess onions grow both above and below ground. Now what about the leaves? Well, as you can see, the leaves are long and skinny, and they kind of shoot out towards the sky. As time goes on, the leaves will turn brown and start to die. But just because the leaves are dead doesn't mean the bulb is too. In fact, it's a great time to harvest and eat the onions. Neat, huh? I like this guessing game. Let's do some more. See how many you get right. Well, we've talked about a lot of things on this farm, but there's one very important aspect that we haven't mentioned yet. Do you think this farm grows itself? No way! There are people who work so hard to grow all of this food. The farmers! The farmers! The farmers!
Hi, I'm Chris and I'm a farmer.
Hi, my name's Laura and I'm a farmer.
My name is Ellery and I run this farm.
Farmers are the heart of every farm. Plants don't just instantly pop out of the ground. It takes a lot of time and work to grow every single plant. Remember that squash field we were in earlier? Well, there are over 300 squash plants growing in that field, and every one of them needs individual care to grow. I mean, this is a lot of hard work we're talking here. So while many people spend their days working in an air-conditioned office, farmers may spend their days working outside, under the hot sun or the pouring rain. And a lot of times they have to be bent over or crawling on their knees for hours at a time. All the while getting covered in dirt and getting all scratched up. I mean, sheesh! On a small organic farm like the Blue Heron, the farmer's work is particularly demanding. For example, because no chemical herbicides are used, weeds grow everywhere, and they must be pulled out by hand. Wow! Look at her go! The farmer's work is never done. They plant the seeds by hand, they weed, they care for the crops as they grow, they weed, they pick the harvest. Have I mentioned that they weed? So who are these farmers? You know, farmers aren't people far, far away that you have nothing to do with. Farmers are regular people, just like you and me.
I grew up in suburban New Jersey. I grew up a mile away from this farm.
I grew up right nearby in Wellesley, Massachusetts.
I live in North Cambridge, in an first floor of an apartment. I went to college in Arizona. I went to college at Rutgers University. I studied English and religion. I studied sustainable agriculture with a double major in art. I went to divinity school and just got a master's.
After going to college and studying Latin American history, I thought it would be really important to understand a little more about food production.
From 16, I knew I wanted to be a farmer. Farming is a lot like sports in a lot of ways. I've always loved sports and hiking, working in a team, being really physical.
I love working on the farm. I love spending my days outside.
It's a very healthy lifestyle. It just feels really good and solid. And I feel like I'm not going to starve ever because I know how to plant things. I just love the work. I love being really busy. I love feeling needed. I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go weed. It's so amazing to get the whole seed to table experience.
It's really exciting when you can see a crop grow from start to finish.
It's a total miracle. I love seeing the cycle from taking really tiny seeds, planting them, having them grow, harvesting them, and then eating them. And it's just like this wonderful kind of life-death life cycle that's constantly going on every single second on a farm. Farming is a lot of work. I wake up every morning at about 5. I wake up at 6. I take Mondays off. I try to take Mondays off.
We're open Tuesday through Sunday.
So a typical day is getting here at 6 and harvesting for the markets, the farm stand, the restaurants, setting all that up. And then just getting to work in the fields.
I typically work from 7 in the morning until anywhere between 5 and 7 at night.
We do all the cultivation of the weeds by hand and all the planting by hand and all the harvesting by hand. It's a lot of hard work in all types of weather, and you get a little bit muddy. And you basically, like, once you weed a bed of leeks, within 2 weeks you have to weed that same bed of leeks again because the weeds get bad really fast. The farmers here all the time working really hard. When it's 95 degrees and 90% humidity, we're out here farming and weeding and digging, and I've never had biceps this big before. And politically, I really believe in organic farming because of how our food system is run right now. I think people need to understand the difference between organic farming and conventional farming, and just to understand that, like, when we pull carrots from the dirt, we can eat them right away. I'm certified organic, and that means there's a lot of rules. Our dirt is probably more healthy than a lot of the stuff in the stores. When you're certified, there's people who come out and make sure that you're doing things the right way. Our dirt has no chemicals in it and no pesticides. For me, it's just how it is. It's just, you know, there's going to be a lot of bugs, there's going to be a lot of weeds. I would never consider doing it any other way.
I get really excited about a lot of the different crops. Some of my favorite things that I've seen throughout the season are growing garlic, which was really fun, and the garlic scapes. I also love the potatoes, which I had never seen grown before, but it's a lot of fun to dig for potatoes.
Right now I'm loving the potatoes because I love digging really deep into the ground and having all of these really bright colored potatoes come out. They're purple and they're red, and they're all sorts of varieties that I've never seen in the stores before.
Having to go to a supermarket and pick out vegetables that are wrapped in cellophane, you're really disconnected from the whole growing process. And so I think it would be really eye-opening for people to actually come out to a farm.
Anybody can come out and work on a farm.
Like, I wish everyone had the opportunity to taste fresh corn.
Produce tastes a lot better when it's fresh and local.
And also like a fresh tomato that's still hot from the sun. Lettuce when it's still so young and so tender. It just tastes how good that tastes.
I love having volunteers out who work on the farm and get to experience what it's like to plant seeds, to harvest cucumbers, and to see where all of the food that they're eating comes from.
So few people really get to experience that, and that's really sad.
It always surprises me when people will ask, do you have oranges here in the Northeast? Or is corn ready in June? Or why do we only have lettuce in June? So people, I've found, are also very unaware of the growing cycle and how crops grow and when they grow.
I wish more people could eat local and more people could go to farms and experience that.
The farmers markets are really fun because you get to actually show people and share with the community all the work that you put into the farm.
It makes you feel like all the work that you put in, and the days you're working in the pouring rain, and the days that you're dodging lightning, or just anything where your hands are bleeding because you've been twining tomatoes all day. It makes all that worth it because people are just like, thank you so much for doing this. This is making us really happy.
Squash, potatoes, and carrots. Oh my! What should we do with all this beautiful food? What to do? What to do? Duh! The farmer's market! God! How could I forget that's where we started this whole thing? Alright, it's time to load up everything and take all this stuff to the farmer's market. Should be a piece of cake, right? Right? The day starts bright and early on the farm. The farmers begin harvesting crops at the crack of dawn for the afternoon's farmer's market. Picked and sold on the same day? Now that's fresh! It takes hours for these ladies to harvest all the crops that are ready to be picked. Everything is picked by hand. One carrot at a time, one radish at a time, and one bean at a time. It's hard work, but somebody's got to do it. The harvested vegetables are placed in coolers, bins, and baskets. And then everything is loaded onto Ellery's pickup truck. How does it all fit? I don't know, but it does. And we're off. It's time to drive all the fresh veggies to Davis Square. Goodbye, Lincoln. Hello, highway. That's right. Fruits and vegetables don't magically appear at the farmer's market. Oh no, somebody had to personally take the time and gas to drive them there. Now, it may seem like a drag for Ellery to have to drive half an hour just to sell her veggies, But considering the fact that the average produce in an American supermarket had to travel over 1,000 miles, well, 10 miles is just down the street. Hey, we're here! Now, if you thought the work was over, you'd be wrong. Come on, we gotta unload the truck and set up the booth. This looks really fun and fast motion, but trust me, this is harder and more sweaty than it looks. Hey, careful with the squash there. Hey, this booth looks great! Nice job, ladies! Alright, the farmer's market is open for business! People are loving the organic veggies of the Blue Heron Farm. And it looks like this bright young lady is getting some squash. Woohoo! You go, girl. Whew, the farmer's market sure is a lot of work. But I think everyone here would agree that it is totally worth it. Well, there you have it. We followed these vegetables from farm to farmer's market. It was awesome! I had so much fun! I've learned so much! And just imagine, it was only one farm! I mean, there are 7 other farms here! And come on, Davis Square is just one farmer's market out of the dozens all over Boston. Just think of all the farms that are out there. Every one of those farms is run by hard-working farmers who each have their own story to tell. I mean, just think about it. That's incredible. And here's the squash that started it all. Wow, squash. There's a lot more to you than meets the eye. I think I'll buy you. Back, please. Thank you very much. Yes, Squash, I'm taking you home with me, and I'm going to cook a delicious dinner. In fact, I'm taking your brothers and sisters with me. Ooh, I want these potatoes. And these peaches. And those tomatoes. And those carrots. And these beans. Oh, and onions. Ooh, lettuce. And that garlic. Ooh, okra. Whew. Well, I'm all done. Got all my veggies for the week. I'm so ready to go home. I am starving. I'm gonna cook up some killer dinner. I'll see you later. Yeah. Oh, wait. Are those apples over there?
My old hen, she won't do. She lays eggs and taters too.
There are people who grow. There are people that grow the summer squash, and of course, is my forehead really shiny? Wait, I'm not moving. Don't move. Oh my God. Okay.